Hello and welcome to another episode of the Popcorn King Show, which I think is the name of this show. I think it's episode number 9, but who's really keeping count? Today, for some reason, my eyes feel sensitive, so the light is like making my eyes blurry, but maybe that's a good thing. Blurry eyes can be quite attractive. Seen a couple of good films, a couple of medium films, series. We got Oscar nominations. My final predictions for the Oscar winners. I'm going to be talking through that, but let's just get straight into my first review, which is for a little film called The Gorge. So, The Gorge is the new Miles Teller film, starring Miles Teller and Anya Taylor-Joy and Sigourney Weaver for some reason. So this film, I guess I'll just read the synopsis on IMDb. You know how much I love to do that. Two highly trained operatives become close after being sent to protect opposite sides of a mysterious gorge. When an evil emerges, they must work together to survive what lies within. Okay, so that synopsis makes this sound like a science fiction thriller action film. It's a cute love story, deep down. This film is weirdly like a romantic kind of comedy. Like, it's basically these two people. They're not allowed to have any contact. They're like on either side of a gorge, giant gorge, and yeah, they're too far away to even like sort of shout. They would never be able to hear. They're too far. They've got to look through like binoculars and write notes to each other, and they end up kind of just flirting and enjoying each other's company, and eventually one of them manages to get to the other side, and it's kind of like a romantic kind of film. If I'm honest with you, it's strange. It's really weird to have this sci-fi element to it. I mean, I'm all for sort of mixing genres, but you really have to be good at both. And I really feel like the sci-fi elements of this film did not work at all. The romance between them was really fun to watch. I really enjoyed that bit. It was really nice. I mean, it did. I think it technically came out on Valentine's Day, so I'm a little bit late reviewing this, but yeah, it was kind of romantic, kind of cute watching it. It was like a cute little throwaway streaming sort of romance film. And then when it gets to like the monsters and the delving into their sort of sci-fi idea, I was like, this feels uninteresting, feels a bit shoehorned in, feels a bit. Yeah, I'm not sure. I'm not sure it worked at all, really, in that sense. But the two, like, considering that it's really just these two actors working on their own on either side. Like they they do have some scenes together, but a lot of the film, a giant percentage of the film, is they're just alone. Both of these actors are really really good. Like they. I kind of believed that they started to like each other, if I'm honest with you. So that aspect of the film worked really well. Miles Teller is a really great actor. I hope he does a bit more because after Whiplash, there was so much potential for him to go on and just be incredible. Like Whiplash was such a good showing from him, and he has gone on to do some good things like Top Gun and stuff. But I really feel like he hasn't shone as much as he did in Whiplash, and maybe he's choosing some of the wrong sort of films, these action heavy, sci-fi heavy films. Like the good part of this was the cute little rom-commy, like it could have almost been like an indie short. How do two people who are separated by like a mile gorge sort of fall in love? It could have just been that really, and yeah, it was cute in that aspect. Anya Taylor Joy is so good. Like she had a great year really with Furiosa last year and that chess series on Netflix. She was so good, and obviously The Witch as well, or The Witch. I don't know how you say it. But they're both top actors, and it was directed by Scott Derrickson. Is it a Valentine's film? For half of it, yeah, for like 50% of the film is like a good Valentine's film. The other half is just this sort of lame kind of sci-fi idea, which did not feel, yeah, didn't feel like it. it hit as hard as they thought it might. It was a bit magoo, a bit silly, a little bit uninteresting, if I'm honest with you. I was like, this is just far fetched and silly and over the top now. And it was cute at first. It was cute. It felt like an indie film almost. And then it just went silly, as so many films often do. Right, on to my next review. I'm actually reviewing a series which I really rate, and it's on season 3 already. From the series From, it's on Now TV if you're in the UK. This series, I'm not even going to read the synopsis because it's quite an intriguing thing. I'd rather just say what the synopsis is. So From, it's just called From, right? It's on. I'm on season 3. I've just finished season 3, and it's this. It's basically this couple or family. They're driving, and their road is obstructed by a fallen down tree. And when they try to go a separate way, they come across this town, and they just can never leave this town. Like, once you get to this town, you can never leave. You drive away and you end up coming right back. Like, it's just impossible to leave. And everyone in this town experienced the same tree, and everyone in this town is stuck there. And now in this town, what is this town? We don't know. But in this town at night time, these terrifying people with giant smiles come walking around, and they try to kill you and eat you, basically, and like just terrorize you. And so there's these sort of little kind of stones, these medallion things that you can put inside your house or whatever, so they can't come in. So as long as you've got one of them, you're kind of okay. But it's terrifying. People want to work out why they need to leave, and there's loads and loads of characters. It's very much like Lost. It's got the one of the same actors. I think his name is Harold Perrineau. Perrineau. I don't know how to say his name, but great actor. It's very much like Lost, as in like it's a huge mystery, and it seems like something supernatural is happening. And yeah, so that is the synopsis. Series 1, what I loved about Series 1 is that it was actually scary. It was really scary. Like, these beings that kill you, they're so terrifying, they're so ferocious, and the mystery was so compelling. Season 2, again, really, really good. The mystery was really, really compelling. And the end of season 2 was this huge cliffhanger where someone managed to actually leave. They woke up and they were back in normal civilization. And so I had so much hope for season 3, but honestly, like, season 3, so I do believe this series is underrated. But season 3, it didn't deliver on the promise of that character having left. Because she kind of just came back. She found her way back, and now she's stuck there again and didn't really achieve much. And this is even brought up in the show. Like, they're like, you did nothing. And it's like, yeah. And I find that really frustrating. There's a couple of things that are starting to frustrate me. I really do think this series is underrated. And I just hope they start answering questions, because if it ends up like Lost, it's the most frustrating sort of way to do a series, with all these so many loose ends where you're like, I don't even remember what question is important to think of anymore. There's just so many questions. And From is a bit like that. And this season 3, was definitely not as scary as the other seasons. And the human drama started to get a bit tired, if I'm honest with you, because, and I'll tell you why. In the first season, it's like 10 episodes a season, right? Because you're introduced to this place, and we're introduced to this place at the same time as this family, that everyone's, I guess, sort of magical ideas do seem a bit strange and a bit weird, so you don't necessarily... You understand why some characters might be defensive against some ideas and other characters might be... You understand that, and that's part of the drama. But after 3 seasons of this, And it's pure like magic. Like you can walk into trees and like teleport somewhere and just be in like a wall. You can suddenly like be in a room where people are like tied up in chains and stuff, and there's these monsters. Like there's so much clear sort of magic that basically if anyone's ever got an idea, you might as well take it seriously. Like it starts to not make any sense why people are so against certain ideas. Like there's one guy has an idea in this where he's like, oh, I'm sure it's got something to do with these bottles, and the dad responding to him is just a bit like, stop focusing on that. And like the mum is like, we've got it it's the only way, like it's the only clue. And she's right, like it's the only, like you've got nothing else to do here. You're not gonna logically find a way out of here. You might as well just go crazy and just start doing any weird thing that you can think of, because it's a supernatural place. Like it feels weird. Like if you are somebody who relies on logic a lot, it feels so strange to just be like, no, logically that just doesn't make sense. When so much doesn't make sense, your logic then has to, inform you that that the bottles probably do mean something, and this song probably does mean something, and your wife teleported through a tree. Everyone go to the tree. Like everyone, let's all try this. Why isn't all this information relayed towards everyone? Like there's like 100 people in this town or so. It's like everybody should be trying things all the time. But they've all sort of resigned to being like, that's a stupid idea. No, that's a really, really dumb idea. And like I say, in the first season, I understand that because we as an audience are discovering this sort of in real time. But after 3 seasons of everyone every which way going, that's crazy, that can't be possible, you're just imagining things. It's like, obviously we're not imagining things anymore. Obviously this place defies logic, it's supernatural. Obviously any idea, we might as well just give it a go, because it's so counterproductive to just be like, no, those bottles can't possibly mean anything, they're obviously just random. It's like, well, Jesus, like, do something. Like I find it really frustrating, if I'm honest with you now. Like from the 3rd season I was like, this is annoying, come on, go and try something. But it is what it is. I think season 1 and season 2 are really underrated. I think they're really awesome seasons. Season 3 is a dip down for me. Honestly, it's a dip down. But I have hope. I have hope that they're going to be like, you know what, let's start answering some questions. And I hope they do. But that's just the thing about series, right? Unless, because it's a business. It's the movie business, right? It's the entertainment business, sorry. That the producers and the studios, they want to make as much money as possible, which means stringing a series out for as long as possible, especially like in Hollywood. In the UK, that's a little less of a thing. Like in The Office UK was 2 seasons with a Christmas special. The Office US is like, I don't know, 20 seasons or something ridiculous. Like, if it's making money, they just keep doing it and keep doing it and keep doing it. So having an end, to them, I guess answering the questions and actually having a resolution and having an end is counter intuitive to them. Like they want to let this go on as long as possible and make as much money as possible because people are enjoying it. So it's annoying. It's like, come on, you just gotta, at one point you've got to go, we've got to have an end. We know this will either just fizzle out slowly and we'll slowly start to lose money and lose money and lose money, that eventually we'll just have to cancel the show because we just keep losing money. Or you end on a big high, and that's obviously the thing you should do, and like be like, okay, well, let's just end on the 4th season then. We've got 1 more season, let's just do 1 more season and like make it incredible and end on this huge high, then move on to new things. There's so many new stories to tell. But, and I do hope that's what they do. If not end on season 4, end on season 5. Like, but just start answering questions. Give me hope that some kind of resolution is going to happen, because as of now, it's just like a million jillion questions. All these questions about Jillian and a million. But I get it. It's the movie industries. I mean, it's the Hollywood entertainment business. Of course, they're just going to be like, no, 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 no. As soon as we answer questions, then we have to start ending it. So we can't possibly answer questions. And it's just like, oh, that's so annoying. Don't do that. But yeah, I hope, fingers crossed, they go, hey, listen, we'll make more money and attract more more customers who trust our content. If we end this series on a huge high, you'll retain more customers for your next series that you decide to release, that have a beginning, a middle, and an end, like an actual end of a series. That's great. Like, let's just have that. Let's have that planned out, and let's do that. And you'll retain more customers in the end. Honestly, more the customers will be like, yeah, I'm sticking around for this network's next series, whatever it's going to be. But if you have it sort of pitter patter, just fizzle out into, oh no, everyone's just given up and it's losing money, then that sucks. So anyway, if you've been watching from season 1, 2, or 3, let me know what you thought about it in the comments. Do you think this is a great mystery and you're still completely on board? Are you a bit like me and just a bit like, this is kind of frustrating that they're not, letting the characters get on board with actual ideas and move forward with things, and that they're all just being like, no, it can't possibly be this. Let me know what you think, because I will bow out next season if they don't start answering questions. That's just me. Right, so let's move on to my next review, which is going to be of a little film called I'm Still Here. I'm Still Here is the brand new, I guess it's a Brazilian film, starring Fernando Torres. And this is one of the films that is nominated for Best Picture of the Year for the Oscars. And I saw it at the cinema. And I don't know if I just missed this at the beginning of the film, but I didn't realize until the very end that this is a true story. So what is this film about? A mother is forced to reinvent herself when her family's life is shattered by an act of arbitrary violence during the tightening grip of a military dictatorship in Brazil, 1971. So this film was great, I have to say. This film was great. It's a bit of a slow burn, and I have to admit, at the beginning I was like, I don't really know what this film is kind of about. It's just a family swimming around at the beach and just kind of living their own family life, and it didn't really seem to get going. But it's got one of these things where before you know it, the film has kind of got going and you didn't quite realize it, because it's all just sort of, yeah, it's Brazil. It's just life in Brazil. Here's the mom. Here's the family. She seems to have so many kids for some reason. She's got like, it feels like she's got about 8 kids, and they're all young. And one's going off to England, but there doesn't seem to be like any moment where the gear shifts into a real film. And the dad's, I guess, got some kind of job in the government, or at least he used to. And these guys come and they say, yeah, we need to have a deposition. So he leaves, sort of says goodbye to his family. And before you know it, you realise you've witnessed what can only really be described as some sort of kidnapping. And this family, who are just sort of really just living their normal life, in a very, very kind of relaxed, sort of subdued way, have been completely terrorized and overrun by the military. It's just these men who very casually, just around the house, sort of close the curtains, and the sense of threat just starts to build and build when we realize is the dad ever coming back? And then the mum goes, because she's needed, and then we follow the mum, and she's like in a prison, and I don't know if she's there for a few days or a few weeks or even a few months. I have no idea. And you're like, what's happening to the kids? And it's like, hold on, the government have just inserted themselves into this family's life, into their house, literally into their house, taking the dad. He's gone, and like they were expecting him to be back in just a couple of hours. The mum's gone, and then she finally gets released, and she's back with the family, and it's like this. We start to have the realization that I think the government just has actually just killed the dad, and he's gone forever. He's never coming back for political reasons. And it's this real slow realization. It's this real gradual feeling of threat in this film, and it's wonderful. Like, because there's never this huge sort of kidnapping scene or a torture scene or like a shouting scene or like a huge crying scene. Where's my dad? It's just like a gradual realization over months and months and months and months of like, I guess our dad's dead, and these guys, like these spies, these soldiers, I guess they're just gonna eventually leave, and that's it. Like, nothing. We're nothing. But this family is still here. That's why it's called I'm Still Here. And this mum decides to take it upon herself to get a law degree, to fight back and have some form of acknowledgement of what the hell just happened, because it was so sneaky and gradual. Like, the kids were still allowed to sort of go to school and come back, and it was just like, what is this? This is broad daylight insanity that's just happened. But it's happened so sort of casually. And that's even more scary. Like, the threat is even more scary. It's like they can just sort of really casually do this. And it's really realistic. It's just this, like I say, a real slow realization that, oh, your dad's been murdered. Like, I don't know how long it took them to realize this, but it feels like over the course of months and months and months and months and months, maybe even a year. And then they move out of their house, but they want to have a photo. This is really important. They want to have a photo to be like, let's just have a photo of us as a family without our dad here, as some form of evidence that where the fuck is our dad? Like, where the fuck is the husband? Because he's gone. He's just absolutely gone. And the photographer says, can you look more serious? Can you look more, I guess sad or something? And the mum says, no, we're going to smile. Because this idea of smiling is so important in this instance, because it's like, if this photo gets published on some sort of magazine or newspaper, the government know what they've done. They know they've taken this man away and killed him. If we smile, it'll be more of like a middle finger to the government. Like, we're still here and we're not going to be silent about this. So let's smile for the camera. It's like a real act of defiance, the smile. The smile is so important, and that's a big thing that she always sort of seems to tell her kids, and it runs through. So we follow her whole life as she gets like a law degree, does all this humanitarian efforts and stuff, and we follow the kids as they all grow up, and it's this huge, like, sort of momentous sort of film. It's a huge film. It spans almost like what's that film called? The Brutalist. But The Brutalist really shoves that in your face, the giantness of The Brutalist. It's really like, this is a big story. This film is like so subtly casual about how giant it is, because we follow her until she's an old lady of Alzheimer's, and like, yeah, it's a beautiful showing of acting from her. It's about finally getting that death certificate, that acknowledgement that something has happened to their dad. It's never falls into melodrama whatsoever. It's very, very sort of delicately done, and I have to say the acting is incredible, and she really deserved, Fernanda Torres really does deserve to win, or she did deserve to win that Golden Globe that she won. She was fantastic in the film, and she could definitely put up a bit of a fight for the Oscar, if I'm honest with you, because it's it's a it's an understated performance, but it's just as fierce as Mikey Madison is in Honora. It's just as fierce as Demi Moore is in The Substance, but she does it with so much poise, and I don't know, it really captures you. The poise, the straightened back, the I'm not gonna cry, I'm gonna smile, I'm gonna do this with integrity, and it's really, really outstanding, really, really great. That film is wonderful. If I'd seen it last year, it would have been in my top 10 of the year, I reckon. Just a wonderful, wonderful film. I do love Brazilian cinema. Obviously, what's it called? City of God is one of the best films ever. But yeah, this was just great. Great film. Sort of really slowly lures you into just this threatening feel, and then we follow this woman's life as she, with poise and integrity and self-respect, and slowly gets her job done. It's great. So just good luck. Good luck for the Oscars. I hope it wins International Film of the Year at least. So that's it for the reviews. So we are going to get into my final Oscar predictions. This is my final Oscar predictions. The Oscars are in a couple of days. They're on Sunday. Today's Friday. Unless you're watching this on another day, then it's the day that it is for you right now. But I'm just going to go down through the nominees. I'm not going to do every single category because honestly I haven't seen some, but I'm going to do all the main categories. So on the website, we're starting with actor in a leading role. Nominees: Adrian Brody for The Brutalist, Timothy Chalamet, Complete Unknown, Coleman Domingo, Sing Sing, Ralph Fiennes, Conclave, Sebastian Stan, Apprentice. My choice is Adrian Brody. I think he's the bookie's favourite as well. He's just won so much. Timothy Chalamet won the Actors Guild Award. Screen Actors Guild Award, sorry. And I expected he would win that. But and he could give a bit of a fight, but I think Adrian Brody's got this in the bag. I reckon it's like 30% chance that Timothy Chalamet could, but it's definitely not going to be any of the others, I'm afraid. I'm sorry, but by the time it gets to this point, we've seen so many awards, and we know that a lot of the people that vote in these different awards also vote in the Oscars, because the Oscars have like a huge voting base of like, I don't know, 10,000 people that all work in the industry. So these people in Screen Actors Guild and stuff, they all voting for the Oscars as well. So we really do start to get clear pictures at this point. And I think it's Adrian Brody. He's won the most, and he, in my opinion, was the best performance of the year. He was just an incredible actor. Timothy Chalamet was great as well as Bob Dylan, but his time will come later. So that was actor in a leading role. Actor in a supporting role is the next one. We got Yuri Borisov for Honora, Kieran Culkin, A Real Pain, Edward Norton, A Complete Unknown, Guy Pearce, The Brutalist, Jeremy Strong, The Apprentice. Again, this is already sort of, they've already written the name on the statue. Everybody already knows it's going to be Kieran Culkin for A Real Pain. Really deserving, awesome performance, but you know, water's wet, the sun is hot. Kieran Culkin's going to win the Oscar. Next is actress in a leading role. This one is interesting. We got Cynthia Erivo, Wicked, Carla Sofia Gascon, Emilia Perez, Mikey Madsen, Honora, Demi Moore, The Substance, and Fernanda Torres for I'm Still Here. So Carla Sofia Gascon's not going to win. She's too unliked these days. So Cynthia Erivo, I'm afraid she's not going to win either, even though I thought she was fantastic. But this is really between Mikey Madsen and Demi Moore, with the off chance of Fernanda Torres making an upset. I think the industry favourite might be Mikey Madsen, because she won BAFTA. However, Demi Moore has won more. and Fernando Torres is just gaining popularity. So this is a difficult one. I think a lot of people are going to be going for Mikey Madsen and Honora. Me, I think it's still going to be Demi Moore. She's got a huge story behind her. She's got that kind of legacy vote. And I think if Fernando Torres is going to steal any votes, it might be from Mikey Madsen, because the people who are voting for Demi Moore, yes, a lot of them are voting for Demi Moore because they think she did the absolute best performance of the year. And those people who are voting purely out of who did the best performance of the year, they're going to choose their favourite, Mikey Madsen, Demi Moore, or Fernando Torres, right? But there is a percentage of voters that are choosing Demi Moore because they feel like she deserves it for her whole career. You know, she's got this story behind her. The industry kind of love her. And those people aren't going to be swayed by Fernando Torres, I don't think. So if Fernando Torres is going to take any votes, I think it's really only going to be mostly from Honora, in my opinion. That's my personal opinion. I do think Honora was the best performance, Mikey Madsen. However, Demi Moore is undeniably amazing in that film. Again, you just go to the mirror scene. It's just, that scene alone is so relatable, so horrible to watch. It makes you anxious. It makes you just feel bad. It's just great. Like, she's wonderful. Obviously, I've already said how amazing Fernando Torres was in I'm Still Here, but again, I don't think she's had enough time to sort of build momentum. She's a very recent new love. Like, it only just got released in the UK, like, last week. So if she had like another month, maybe she might build even more, because she is up on the rise. But I think it'll be Demi Moore. That's my choice. That's my final choice, Demi Moore. Actress in a supporting role, we got Monica Barbaro, Complete Unknown, Ariana Grande, Wicked, Felicity Jones, Brutalist, Isabella Rossellini, Conclave, and Zoe Saldana. Emilia Perez. It's going to be Zoe Saldana. She's won everything. Sweep. Absolute sweep. Just like Kieran Culkin, Water is Wet, and Salt is Salty, and Zoe Saldana is going to win this. Right. Next, we got animated feature film. I haven't seen all these. I've seen most of them, though. We got Flow, Inside Out 2, Memoir of a Snail, Wallace and Gromit, Vengeance Most Foul, The Wild Robot. So, some great films in here. Inside Out 2, I went to see this with a certain Italian lady, and she cried and cried and cried and cried and cried and cried. Like, I've never seen her cry that much. So she cried a lot. The Wild Robot, I think that made my sisters cry. It made me cry. That just makes everybody cry. Beautiful, beautiful film. And I think Flow is also up for grabs here. I mean, even Wallace and Gromit could be up for grabs. But in the end, my vote goes for The Wild Robot. I think that film just the most people have seen it, and I think it just strikes a chord, and it's not a sequel. I just think it's going to win. The Wild Robot, that's where my vote goes. I have not seen the animated short film, so I'm not going to make a prediction there. Cinematography. The Brutalist, Dune Part 2, Emilia Perez, Maria, Nosferatu. Ooh, this is difficult, you know. Nosferatu, wonderful. Maria, a beautiful amount of cinematography, but I think this is going to go to The Brutalist. I really do. I just think the way the camera captured the Brutalist architecture was just really, really incredible. Just what we got to see for the amount of budget that he worked with, what we saw on that screen through that camera lens was just amazing. It just looks so grand, spectacular. My vote, my prediction is The Brutalist, and that's who I'd want to win as well. Costume design, probably Wicked. So, I mean, here are the nominees. Complete Unknown, Conclave, Gladiator 2, Nosferatu, Wicked. Wicked is very loved by the Academy, I think. They've nominated it for a lot. So, yeah, I'm gonna say Wicked get this one. Directing. This is another contentious one. So we got Honora, Sean Baker, The Brutalist, Brady Corbet, Complete Unknown, James Mangold, Amelia Perez, Jacques Audiard, and The Substance, Coralie Farget. So this is really between. Who is this between? So it's between Honora, Sean Baker, The Brutalist, Brady Corbet, and maybe, very maybe, The Substance. I'm gonna put my money on Sean Baker. Yes, it's incredible what Brady Corbet did for The Brutalist. It's insane what he managed to achieve with that tiny budget. He made like a grand film. But I just think Honora is the film that's most likely going to win Best Picture, I believe. And so I just think Sean Baker goes with that, honestly. The Brutalist, I mean, Brady Corbet does stand a chance here. I would kind of love it if Coralie Farget won, because I think that film's directorialness was great. Because Honora, it is a very well, amazingly directed film, obviously, but it relies so much on how amazing the acting is, and how just like how well written those characters are, to the point where you can just like you could just stick a camera down and let them loose, because all the acting in that film is so good. Like, I'm not sure how much the directing. I mean, obviously the directing plays the biggest part in getting the best performances out of the actors, but I'm just saying, for a film with like real directing-y things in it, The Substance is so directed. If you know what I mean. If I'm making any sense there. The film is so directed. Like, it's so like a director's film. It's a director's vision. You can really feel this is a director's vision. Whereas Honora feels like a writer's idea, and these characters' sort of development of it, these actors' development of these characters. The Substance feels like a director's vision. That's all I can say. So I would kind of love it if she won, but my money is on Sean Baker, and well deserved. He directed the best film of the year, in my opinion. So it is what it is. I'm not going to do documentaries. I didn't see those. Film editing. We got Honora, Sean Baker, The Brutalist, Conclave, Amelia Perez, Wicked. I'm not going to say all the names. I actually think Conclave is going to win this one. You know, Sean Baker with Honora, like I just said, like, it relies so much on how well written the characters are, and how they're so well portrayed by the actors. But in terms of the editing, like, the film is actually quite long. And like, if there's any kind of complaints about the film, is that it feels maybe a bit too long, and that will be down to the editing. Like, you got to edit it down if it feels too long. You know, if anything, the editing is probably the worst part of it. I think Conclave feels fast, and it feels like it's going at a break speed pace, but it's really just men talking in the Vatican. That's all it is, and it feels so quick, and that's down to the editing. Like, we're following all these conversations. We're following all these different plot points that are coming out of this sort of thriller. And I think it's really well edited. I think Conclave is going to take the award home. Now we got international feature film. So we got I'm Still Here. It's from Brazil. The Girl with the Needle, Denmark. Amelia Perez, France for some reason. Germany, The Seed of the Sacred Fig, and Flow from Latvia. I hope this goes to I'm Still Here. Amelia Perez got tons of nominations. So at the time of nominating, the Academy fucking loved Amelia Perez. But with all the controversy and the backlash and the drama, I'm Still Here has had the opportunity to emerge. And I think I'm Still Here is going to take it. So that is where my money is. I'm Still Here. Makeup and hairstyling, I mean, for me, it's between Wicked and The Substance. I'm going to go The Substance. Yes, I'm going to Substance. Substance is what I'm going to go for. I mean, I think there's a lot of love for Wicked. And all in all, like the costumes and the green makeup, yes, it's got a great road to the win here, but I think the substance is undeniable. Just the the old decrepit finger, like that was just like ugh, so well done. I think, yeah, come on, the makeup, let's do it. Let's give him that. The substance, I'm putting my money on the substance. Oh, even Nosferatu though, you know. Anyway, let's go. I'm doing the substance. Music. Original score has to be The Brutalist, but there's also Conclave, Emilia Perez, Wicked, The Wild Robot. I love the score from The Wild Robot, but I also love the score from The Brutalist. It's so epic. Da-na-na-na. And it's just the build-up from the beginning of that film with that score. It's excitement inducing. It's so well realized, that music in that film, the way it works together with the film, again adding to the idea of this being a grand story when really there's such a small budget for this film that just a bus driving down a road with that music behind it, da, 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 da. It's just a bus like driving down a country lane. You're enthralled. You're like, this is some huge epic film, but it's just a bus driving down a lane with this da 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 da, these huge like horns and piano and stuff. Just great, just wonderful score. That has to win music original score. I'm not going to do music original song because I've not heard of most of these, but it's probably going to be El Mal. Production design, I'm just going to very quickly go through this. Probably Wicked, you know, like the millions and millions of flowers that they put down there. Obviously, The Brutalist is in there, Conclave, Doom Part 2, Nosferatu, but I think Wicked's going to take that one. I think I just believe Wicked will get that with all the millions of flowers that they did, and it just looks spectacular with the train and everything. All right, I'm going to do the 2 ratings, and then I'm going to do the best feature film, which you probably guess what it's going to be. But so, adapted screenplay, we got Complete Unknown, Conclave, Emilia Perez, Nickel Boys, Sing Sing. This is going to Conclave. It's just won everywhere, basically. This is as sure as I could ever be for a prediction for the Oscars. I think Conclave is just sweeping everywhere, and I think it's a great script as well. You know, it's a, in England we say PG. I guess it's like a it's a film that kids are allowed to go watch, but it feels so adult with the way they talk, even though they're not effing and jeffing, as we say in England. They're not swearing, using curse words. They're just having deep conversation, and it never feels boring. It feels interesting. It feels exciting the way they talk. The script is so well written. So yeah, I'm giving it to Conclave for adapted screenplay. Writing original screenplay, we got Anora by Sean Baker, The Brutalist, Real Pain, Jesse Eisenberg, September 5, it's not going to win for some reason, and The Substance. This is a great lineup. Man, I'd be happy with Anora, Brutalist, A Real Pain, or The Substance. I think all of those films were so well written. A Real Pain sort of randomly has been winning here and there. I think Anora, it's got a really good chance to win because I think Honora is going to win Best Film. Spoiler alert. But then again, Substance is so well written. Like, the story of The Substance written down, it's so good. Because obviously when they say writing, they don't just mean the words that the characters say. They mean the writing of the story as well. And it's just such a good, unique story. A Real Pain, the dialogue is so good. The Brutalist, I would say the Brutalist is not going to win here. I would say it's really between a Nora and a Real Pain, and I'm going to go for. I'm going to go for a Nora. I would be very happy if Jesse Eisenberg won for a Real Pain, or Coralie Farjat will win for The Substance, but my money is on a Nora. So, this is it, the moment you've been waiting for. Best Picture. Nominees: Anora, Brutalist, The Complete Unknown, Conclave, Dune Part 2, Emilia Perez, I'm Still Here, Nickel Boys, Substance, and Wicked. Okay, we can cross off all the ones who are not going to win. Emilia Perez, Nickel Boys. 100% not going to win. 90% not going to win. We got A Complete Unknown, Dune Part 2, and Wicked. 80% not going to win. We got Substance and Brutalist. 50%. I don't know my math. Okay, but we've basically come to the top three. I'm Still Here, Conclave, and Anora. Conclave is surging. I'm Still Here is surging. It's climbing up. And Anora has always been up there. I think this goes to Anora. My money's on Anora. But I'm worried about Conclave because it's going to get script. I just think Conclave, it got BAFTA as well. Man, Conclave is a good film, but Anora's so good as well. And I'm Still Here. If it had like really started its campaign just like a month earlier, maybe it would have more of a chance. But I think I'm Still Here is not really going to do that. The Substance as well. Like, I think The Substance isn't going to do that. I would love it if The Substance won, but my heart goes with Anora, and I think that's where my money goes as well. Conclave is there, though. It's kind of close. So, but it's going to be Anora. It's going to be Anora, and I just think it deserves to win. So I'm happy with that, honestly. So those are my predictions. Anora for the win. It's been a crazy award season. The highs and the lows, the drama, the controversies or controversies, depending how you pronounce that word, the different sects choosing different winners. You know, the critics not choosing Anora for anything when we really thought they would, but the guild choosing Anora. Apart from SAG, didn't choose Anora. And then, like, you know, Fernanda Torres winning the Golden Globe and like bringing that film up with her incredible speech and Demi Moore's incredible speech. We've got Timothée Chalamet in the mix with his interesting speech with I'm going to speak low, I'm reaching for greatness. I didn't have a problem with that speech. You've got Nora sort of up there, but like fighting off all these people. At one point, Brutalist was right up at the top as well. But I think that's just sort of slowly come down. A Complete Unknown was showing loads of love in some of these nominations. But in the end, I really don't think it's going to win probably anything. Dune Part 2, one of the best films for like the past 10 years, just really going to be left out here as well. Emilia Perez had like the most nominations, was definitely like at the top of everyone's list, and now it's at the bottom. This has been an absolutely incredible award season. I've loved every minute of it, and I can't wait to watch the Oscars on Sunday. I'm going to be in Rome, but I'll do a reaction at some point. So that is it. That's what it is. Please comment, like, tell me who you think is going to win. I'd love to hear your thoughts. Am I completely wrong? Am I missing something? Let me know. But apart from that, I love you. I absolutely bloody love you, every single last one of you.